super spicy rant coming up, just for warning, and it's about this video.
Gen Z doesn't know how to write a check. They don't know how to address an envelope.
Alright, let's get into this rant. Firstly, let's talk about writing checks. This is how to do that. That's it. That's all you need to know. That's not hard. Anybody could figure it out. Next is addressing the envelope. Oh wait, there's that. Now you know how to do that. Very easy. There we go. All they have to do is screenshot or save this video, and we solved problems 1 and 2 for you. And number 3, when's the last time that you had to use cursive? And I'm not asking when the last time you chose to use cursive was, or when the last time you wrote in cursive was. I'm asking when's the last time you had to write in cursive? My last time as a millennial was when I was in school learning how to use cursive. If you've had to use cursive anytime since then, please leave me a comment and let me know, because I'm genuinely very curious. And also, now that we're in the computer age, what is the relevance of using cursive? I can tell you, as a millennial with ADHD, I know how to do a lot of useless things. A lot of useless things. But learning how to read cursive is by far the most useless. Not only was it time consuming, and I'm left-handed, so I was naturally just pretty bad at it, but after I learned how to use it, I immediately had no use for it. Now moving on to GPS systems and paper maps. One, Gen Z knows how to do that already. I mean, they know how to do all of these other things too, except for cursive probably, but this is the one that they guaranteed they know how to do. Sure, they use GPS systems, but that doesn't mean they don't know how to do it. I've seen them go to theme parks. They know how to use a paper map. I've also seen them on college campuses. College campuses don't use GPS systems. They have to read maps to figure out where they're going. And if you've ever been on a college campus, it's confusing as hell. But also, when's the last time that you had to use a paper map? And I know what you're going to say. Oh, but in an emergency, you need to use a paper map. Okay, where are you gonna get one? I know you're probably thinking, oh, the gas station that's about 4 blocks down and to the right has maps the last time I looked, and I went there about 3 years ago. Okay, cool, but if you don't know where to go and you don't have access to a cell phone, how are you going to find a store that sells maps? Are you just going to go to every gas station that you see until you find one that eventually has maps? Because maps are like $15 to $20. You can buy a cheap cell phone for that. And I promise, if you go looking for a cheap cell phone, you'll be able to find one. But Nick, Gen Z doesn't know people's phone numbers anymore like we used to. Yeah, but that's because they store phone numbers in specific online accounts and they know their passwords, unlike you. If they had to buy a cheap cell phone, they'd be able to log into Google or iCloud just to get their contacts. It's really easy. And lastly, on this fictitious and frankly hilarious scenario of Gen Z taking over the entire world and you quite easily being able to get it back, I would like a detailed plan for this. I would really love to review it. Can you please outline this for me? But don't tell me, let me guess. Step 1, write them a letter in cursive that they cannot read. So that way when they get the letter, they'll be a little bit confused and a tad bit peeved. Step number 2, in that letter include a ransom note that they can read. And in that ransom note include a check, I guess from their bank account somehow, that they have to fill out. And include in there a return envelope that they also have to fill out. Step 3 is make sure that they have to use a post office that's not on any GPS somehow. For some weird reason, this post office is the one they have to drop the letter off at. This one's only on paper maps that were printed about 3 years ago and not on modern GPS systems. And finally, the last step is destroy Google, I guess. And while we're at it, destroy Bing and all of those other search engines, because we can't have them using that when we want to take over the world back. And I know all of this seems very silly, and that's because it is. Jokes about the younger generation being incompetent have existed since all of history. Even though they've never been funny, up until now, at least they've kind of made sense. Because in history, the younger generations have had less knowledge about the way that the world works than the older generations have. That's kind of all changing now, because the younger generations know how to use computers and know how the government works and don't have lead poisoning. This is one of the first times in history that the younger generations have actually been more knowledgeable about the way the world works than the older generations have. And that's the reason that when these older generations try to make this really stale joke about younger generations, the only thing that they can think of is addressing envelopes.
This is day 1 of me ingesting borax.
I hopped on the borax train.
You know, it really occurred to me that boomers did not learn their lesson. First, it was lead in the gas and the paint and everything. Then it was asbestos and just about everything. They were collecting uranium glass. They were eating shit that you shouldn't be eating. They're smoking asbestos. They're doing all these things. And they just did not learn. They're eating laundry detergent now. They were making fun of our generation for eating Tide Pods. Even though I think I only seen like a total of maybe 3 people do it, and then nobody else, because it was just a meme and they thought it was real. they were like, our kids are eating Tide Pods. Oh, your generation's f***ed. No, I think your generation's seeing like 10 videos of grown adults eating laundry soap. It's like they look at scientists. When the scientist tells them, don't touch this thing, don't eat this thing, don't inhale this thing, don't even look at it the wrong way. And then they're just like, I think I know my body just a little bit better than that trained professional that's been in school for years just to know about our bodies. I know better than that. And people are trying to say, oh, borax is natural, so it has to be good for you. You know what's also natural? Uranium, petroleum, phosphorus. Things that are not meant to be eaten. This is how people like Mitch McConnell are made, where Mitch McConnell just had a stroke, live, televised, in the middle of a conversation. Yeah, don't worry. He's still saying that he's going to be running throughout the entirety of next year. No, if this shit goes on, I don't think your generation's going to last this year.
Baby boomers are becoming homeless.
Oh no, are they? Well, maybe they should work harder. Have they tried pulling themselves up by their bootstraps? It seems a bit entitled to me that they think that they should only have to work one job. Millennials have been working several jobs their whole lives. It just seems like nobody wants to work anymore. Maybe they should get back to work. Stop complaining that your one job doesn't pay the bills. You're gonna have to work multiple jobs like the rest of us. It's time to stop being lazy and spoiled, okay, boomers? Karma's a bitch, stay mad.